Hello, everybody. Andy Jacob here with the .com Magazine Entrepreneur Spotlight Series. I have a real interesting show today, a fascinating show. You know, when we talk about entrepreneurship, we talk about people that really pursue their dreams. And we have a great CEO and founder on the show today. Her name is Neivis Paulino. And of course, she is, I guess, a woman on a mission. I mean, she has a great company called Galilee Life. And of course, what they're doing is very, very interesting. And it's based on her passion to really helping people and her passion to become the greatest entrepreneur that she can. The Galilee Life, of course, is an online marketplace platform. It's really based in Christian values, and I love that so much. So we're just excited to have Neivis on the show. Welcome to the .com Magazine Entrepreneur Spotlight Series today.
Thank you so much, Andy.
Yeah, it's great to have you. I mean, you're a woman on a mission. I mean, you're getting a lot of great press. People are talking about what you're doing at Galilee Life. And of course, you know, you look at it in a way that's very strong. God, the higher power, has really been a driving force behind your success, behind your life. You move forward with gratitude. You know that there's a big plan that's probably even bigger than ourselves. And before we get started, though, let's talk about Galilee Life. Tell us what you do on the platform, and then we'll get into it.
Sure. So thank you so much for the introduction. Galilee Life is a Christian marketplace, and we focus on allowing vendors, small businesses of any caliber to sell retail, handmade, and digital products. But our mission is also to encourage them and to allow them to understand that their business walk is truly very dependent on what God wants to do in their lives. So when a business is purpose driven, it will succeed. There's no ands or ifs about it. As long as you're clear on your mission and what you want to do, it'll happen.
Yeah, I love it so much. There's so many interesting products and things on the platform. Of course, we'll put some links below the interview, but when we talk about it and people reach out to you, what's the conversation sound like? You know, they say, Neivis, I've heard about Galilee Life. I have this same sort of passion, this same spiritual sense about the world and the way in which it moves and the way in which, you know, we follow a path that is divine, if you will. What's that conversation sound like the first time somebody reaches out to you, Neivis?
Sure. So I've had many people reach out to me throughout the years. A lot of them are like, hey, I love what you're doing, but I don't quite understand it. How do you link Christian to business? And I always say, well, you can't do business without God. And that's my viewpoint. That's actually the reason why I even started something like this. I used to just want to be a healthcare professional. I wanted to be a doctor. And this direction that I'm going in right now was not the direction that was planned for my life, that I felt was a plan for my life. And God opened the doors. And now it's something that I can't see myself doing. So when people come and they interview, and they come and they ask me questions, I just say, well, this is what we're about. And if you're a small business and you want to sell on here, you're more than free to do so. And you'll know that you'll also get devotionals, encouragement along the way. One of the things that I have learned about small business and just building something from the ground up is that you cannot do it alone. You need community, you need people, and that's what we provide as well.
I love it. And so many people feel that, they want to start something. Maybe they have some product or item that they make themselves. Maybe they're on Etsy, or maybe they're on one of the other marketplace platforms. But in your platform, you give them encouragement. You make them part of the community. They can reach out and say, hey, maybe I'm having a little bit of a tough time in my entrepreneurial journey. Let's talk about it. Let's sort of share our stories. And you're always there along the way for these people to help promote them as business people. Where did that sort of idea, Neivis, come from? What did it start when you were a small child? Did it happen as a teenager where you liked the people and you really love sharing your experience with others?
Sure. So I've been very timid all of my life. So that's this platform platform has allowed for that to change in a very drastic way. I didn't dream of having a platform like this, but it came about working in cancer research one day, and I was actually selling on a platform called Poshmark just to make a little bit of extra money on the side. And that was my drive. And then one day the thought just came up, and I always say it's a God thought, because every thought that comes to my mind, I say, God, you've given me this thought. But the thought came up, well, why don't you do something like this and just, bring God into it and provide encouragement? And that is exactly how it started and exactly how I went about it. Wow. I said, okay, I'm going to do my own thing.
And you have some beautiful items being sold on the platform. You have beautiful jewelry. People are selling handmade cards. I mean, not to kid ourselves, but, it's Valentine's Day coming up here. They're selling like beautiful mesh multi-purpose bags. I mean, anything that you can really think of. Are most of these items handcrafted, or you don't really have a particular type of item that your clients can place on the platform?
Oh, I always say you can sell anything and everything under the sun, as long as it doesn't go against, God's word. That is all that I ask for. But if you want to sell handmade things, you want to sell retail things, you want to sell things straight from your closet, you can do so as well. You want to sell something used and make money as a college student, just make extra cash on the side. Hey, you're welcome to do that. When I used to work at cancer research, I also learned what it was like for someone that was out on disability. They didn't have a hobby. They didn't know what to do. And I'm like, okay, well, you know what? Some of them didn't even have money to pay for their cancer treatments. And I said, well, I want a platform that can provide that for them, that if they want to knit at home and sell it, they can do that. If they want to take clothes from their closet that no longer fit them, or they don't see themselves wearing it anymore, then they can do that as well. One of the things I learned with cancer patients is that once you're going through the actual illness, and there's a different perspective on life, and you learn to understand, that life is not just about the items that you have. You become a little bit more spiritual, and you're like, okay, well, I don't need this, I don't need that. And when that comes to play, we're a platform you can do that and make a little bit of money on the side and just kind of help your family out too.
Yeah, Neivis, it's interesting. Help your family out, build some generational wealth, pass on to your children, maybe bring them on the platform and show them what you're doing and get them involved in entrepreneurship. Maybe even get them involved with shipping or going through the closet to find some things to put on the platform. Make it a family type business. Teach the young people how exciting it is to provide a service, or in this particular case, a wonderful item that people buy, and then have them learn about sort of the financial transaction, how you get paid, where you put that money, how you invest it. It's a great idea. Now, one thing that you do that I really like is that you're always available by email. You call it loving support. So let's talk about that. Your email box must get filled up pretty quickly over there.
It does. Our email support is not just when a customer has a question. So our small businesses, I always say you're not alone. So if there's a customer that's trying to reach out to you, they can't reach out to you, they can reach out to us and our platform, and we'll try to reach out to you or answer them on your behalf and do the best that we can. But aside from that, our email support is also for prayer requests. So if you have a prayer, you have something going on, hey, we're there for you. And if you come to a place where you actually need us to place a call, we'll also do that too. But emails, we're always available, and we'll respond within the first 48 hours.
Yeah, it's incredible. Prayer requests as well. I mean, that's so unique. It's sort of a unique selling proposition for this platform. What's the business model? Because on the platform, it says there's no listing fees and no commission on sales. So we're a little confused on how we're even in business.
I know. So I laugh because it's definitely been kind of a learning experience for me. When you first start out with a business, you don't really know kind of which direction you're going, and you're kind of going, well, this is what this platform is doing. Maybe I should try this. But I came into realization that I don't want small businesses to think about any listing fees. I don't want them to have to worry about, oh, you know what? I made this money, but this percentage is coming out. I just wanted it to be a one flat fee. So you either pay $5 a month for about 10 products, I believe, $7 a month for 20 product listings, or $15 a month. And that is an unlimited amount. And then we also have the $150 a year. So it's very straightforward. There's no, no underlying anything. Everything is very straightforward.
Yeah, it's great. And of course, the system is very easy to use. The platform is very simple to use. It's easy to upload your items for sale. It's very easy to navigate through the system. Your team has done a very nice job of that. When we think about younger people, we think about younger entrepreneurs, and, they get discouraged quickly sometimes because they haven't been through it, or maybe they hit a pothole in the road, or they hit a roadblock. From your experience, what types of advice can you give to the younger entrepreneurs that are maybe hitting a pothole in the road, Neivis?
Oh my goodness. I guess this advice goes to everyone, but I'll keep it to for the younger generation. Just keep going. Do not stop. You're going to have moments where you start something and halfway through, it's not going in the direction that you kind of wanted to, or you're not seeing the growth financially. But if you don't stop and you keep going and you ask God for help, because I always say that that's our primary thing. God is with you, is by your side. He won't let you go. And see whatever stagnant place that you see yourself in, see it as a process and something that needs to happen in order for growth to occur. So if you don't stop, you'll be able to get to a place where you're doing well and you will succeed.
Yeah, I like it. And one thing that's really refreshing about Galilee Life, about what you're doing, is you really don't want the types of clothing or the types of things on the platform that maybe potentially could cause someone pause, or maybe cause someone to say, hey, that's a little vulgar, or that's something that, I don't feel comfortable with. How do you go through the massive amount of items that get put up online and make sure that, they fit within your sort of quality control?
Sure. So we do have, we definitely make sure that vendors know that when they sign up. We do have a page on there with a little, with some information that shares the kind of things that you can sell and what we don't allow on the platform. So you can pretty much sell anything except for anything that is vulgar. And one of the other reasons, aside from, my beliefs and, my godly beliefs, is the fact that I do want children to be able to sell on there. I want them to see themselves as entrepreneurs at a very young age. I actually have my daughter, she's an 8-year-old, and she sells slime on there. She makes slime and sells it. I have my other one, she's 16 years old, and she helps with, putting products in with the shipments and stuff like that. So I want the younger generation to feel empowered and to start thinking of entrepreneurship at a very young age. You don't need to, be in high school, college. Think about college when you're in elementary school. Why not? There are no impossibilities. And I just want it to be a platform where everyone just feels free to be able to do what they do without having to worry, okay, my child is going to see this. Oh my goodness, what if they see that and now they want to sell that? No, it's a very clean platform.
That's awesome. Now, one thing that we've noticed on the platform, Neivis, that's really interesting is that there are some beautiful designer items on the platform. And of course, when you look at designer items, the first thing that comes to mind, of course, is authenticity. And it's something that you've done very, very smart, is you've partnered with an authentication business that specializes in authentication. Let's talk about that.
Yes, I love that. So I see Galilee Life, the platform kind of like a rental space. We help you promote and do all those things, but at the same time, sometimes it's a little difficult to have just true quality control of every single business. And as we grow, I know it'll might just get a little harder. So I have partnered with this authentication business, real authentication. And so a customer, if they feel that they're not sure if there's, if an item is real or not, they can send in a picture, they can, send them the actual item and then, figure out whether it's, real or not. So that's something that we offer on there for customers' protection and also for vendor protection as well. Sometimes we have thrifters and we have people that go into these thrift shops and they're buying stuff to sell. Well, hey, I'm not even sure if this is real or not. Now you have a place to go to where you can do that and check that out before you actually post it online, or post it online and say, hey, I went through the authentication process. This is not a real item, but you are free to purchase it at X amount of price.
Yeah, it makes sense. And one thing that you do also for your clients, for the vendors, is if they want to write an article about their business, or they want to write an article about entrepreneurship, or the way in which they're being affected positively by the website or by the platform, you allow them to write and then post it on your blog. That's a great idea. How did you come up with that?
Yes. Oh, I love it, because I want, just like I think about press for Galilee Life, and I think about us getting known and for people to really get to know who we are and understand our process. I also want the same for each individual business. I don't want Galilee Life to be the actual press, but I want every business to be able to have others talking about them. And the more they're in blogs, and the more they're, also expressing themselves and understanding that their business is a true business, it's the more the merrier. That's all I can say. Yeah. So I really love that. I really love that they feel, confident enough to be able to write about themselves. I know, as a small business entrepreneur, when you're first starting out, sometimes you don't want to talk about yourself much. And I feel that, if you're building something, hey, it's big enough to talk about.
Yeah, super cool. And you have people that are outside the United States selling as well, as long as they have a PayPal account that they can get paid. You welcome them on the platform, right?
I do. I have some from Israel, some from the UK, and it's amazing. So as long as they have a PayPal account, it's more. And I have a few from Canada as well. So as long as they have a PayPal account, they can sell on there, no problem at all.
I love it. Let's talk about giving back, because obviously your entire platform is about giving back, but also that's ingrained in your own personal mission, your own personal life. You mentioned that you have one of your children that makes the slime, and you're teaching them entrepreneurship. How important is it to have your children learn about giving back as well?
Oh, it is so important. I think that the more we have, the more we should give. I'll tell you this, the way that I view it is, in the Christian form, right? God is the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords. He is, there's no limit to how much money he has. So if he gives to us, why not give to the parts of the world that need it as well? There's so many undeserved parts of the world that don't have what we have. And I teach my kids the same thing. So if they see someone that needs something, I teach them to be kind enough to do so, because you're given something, you're blessed with something to give to others.
Yeah, it's so powerful, and it's such a great way to go, because when you think about it, and you think about the young people in the world today, if they all had a little bit of more thinking like that, if they all started thinking a little bit about taking personal responsibility, maybe started thinking about, entrepreneurship, that they can do things instead of can't do things. And there's a lot of can't do thinking with the youth today. And not only do they think, some of them think they can't do it, but then because they can't do it, they blame something else, when really they should just be taking action themselves and following sort of the higher power to get them from point A to B. What's the most unusual thing? I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit here. What's the most unusual thing that you saw sell on the platform?
The most unusual thing that I've seen selling on the platform, I don't think I've seen anything unusual, but I have had someone request if they can sell something very unusual. I had someone message me telling me that they were Gothic, I believe, and all they wanted to do was sell dark things. So I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry. It kind of goes against, my beliefs and, our belief as a platform. But, if you ever get to a place where you feel like you don't have to sell these dark things, and we're open and ready for you. So you don't have to be a Christian to sell on there. I just, ask that you respect the beliefs of the actual platform. I was blessed to be able to have something like this running because of my obedience to God and what he's telling me that I can and cannot do. So I try to kind of, say the thing, but if you're, you don't have to be, a Christian to sell on there.
I like it. Well, listen, hopefully those dark things, that person is having a candle light up his, the dark things that he wants to sell, and maybe it becomes light. Now, let's talk about it a little bit before we let you go. We want to talk to the entrepreneurs watching the show, of course, because, you've had a great ride. You have built Galilee Life. You have tens of thousands of visitors coming in to the platform. It must be very exciting waking up every day and sort of seeing the sellers and how excited they are to sell, and the buyers and what's going on, with what they're buying. What's the future look like? I mean, do you want to build this even bigger? I'm sure you do as an entrepreneur. Is data going to drive your decision making? How do we grow this to be even bigger than what it's already become?
Sure. So up until this time, we started back in 2018. It's been kind of like a solo ride. I've had, a few influencers here and there, and a few people that have helped. But it's been kind of a solo ride. I think that the next strategy moving forward is to find people that are smarter than me that can help take this to the next level. I'm not afraid of that at all. As long as, I feel comfortable with the fact that these people are the people that are supposed to be on here, and that they're, mission driven and ready to join. I'm, happy to kind of, find a place for them in here. So that's kind of my next strategy. And what I see moving forward is actually having such a big platform that we now have, telephones ringing with prayer requests, not just emails, just a full line of customer service so that anyone can reach out, small businesses, whoever wants to reach out and understand more about what we're doing. And I also want to get to a place one day where I have an actual physical place that people can actually come in and find refuge in. They can, get into the computers and, sell their stuff. And then they'll also have a space where they can take pictures of their items and, get professional pictures done for everything that they make or want to sell. So, these things are, in the goal, in the goals for me. And just praying along and allowing God to just do what I know he's going to do. He's allowed us to grow so much so far. So.
Yeah, that makes so much sense. And of course, when we think about it and we think about the future and we think about where you're going and we think about where you've started back in 2018 to today and into the future, you have this great sort of spark about you because you know that things are happening for a reason, and you know that you need to surround yourself, like you just mentioned, with people that can give you good advice. And one thing that's important for entrepreneurs watching the show, it's not just important to surround yourself with people that want to give you good advice, but you want to make sure they care about you as well. Because if you just hire a consultant that doesn't really care about you or your mission, that advice most likely is not going to be as honed in and as exciting and as important as it would have been coming from someone that has the same intelligence level, but also deeply cares about you as a person and cares about your family. So for entrepreneurs watching the show, remind yourselves of that as well. Listen, this has been great to have you on the show, but I want to end it with something a little bit different, because we have some people maybe that are on the fence and they're thinking, hey, maybe I should start my own business. But a lot of times these folks, these people, some of these people, they can't take that big step. They can't even take a small step. They're a little paralyzed. They're a little frozen in the freeze frame. They have this idea. They watch Shark Tank, or they watch, shows like this, Neivis, and we have you on the show, and they say, well, I've had this idea. But then they just keep thinking about it and thinking about it. And then a year goes by and 2 years goes by. They don't take that first little step. So what can you say to those folks about taking that first step to getting it done?
Oh my goodness. Don't think too far out. That will be my first advice. I have created not just Galilee Life. I have Galilee Life. I have Galilee Life Alliance. Alliance is, helping small businesses every quarter. We send, we have a little bit of money for them to help them with their marketing expenses, with shipping expenses. So these businesses, I can't tell you that every single one of them is where I want them to be, but they're there. The foundation is there. Get it going, do what you have to do, and pray along the way. I know that discouragement comes, but discouragement is not the end. And if you stay stuck on a thought and don't do something about it, then you're going to stay stuck on the thought. And it's not going to go anywhere. And you're going to get years and years are going to pass by. And oh my goodness, I should have done this. Yeah, you should have. And guess what? You still can.
Wow, I love it, Neivis. Before I let you go, you mentioned pray along the way. There might be some people that are watching the show that maybe they don't even know how to pray or what to say. Yeah. Or maybe you could just share briefly, maybe just something to say if you're an entrepreneur that need a little help.
Sure. So my main thing is surrender. If you keep that word in your mind, that'll take you far. I always say it doesn't matter how strong your walk in the Lord is, how weak you think your walk in the Lord is. If you don't know the Lord at all, if you have made up your mind to say, God, I want to give my life to you, meaning every single part of your life, not just your personal, but also your business, every single part. And you say, God, I want to give that to you. I want to surrender that to you. Now help me. He will help you, because all he is looking for is just a heart that is receptive, willing, and able. And once you do that, you're good to go.
I love it. Keep smiling, keep talking, keep building, keep on motivating, and keep on being there for the people that reach out to you. Neivis, what a great interview. I want to thank you so much for cutting out some time today, for coming on the .com Magazine Entrepreneur Spotlight Series today. This has been awesome.
Thank you so much, Andy. It's been amazing.